Hey folks, how you doing? Papa Joe here. Let me adjust that camera a little bit. There we go. Much gooder. Raining down here in Houston, which ain't all bad. I'm hoping I get the bugs off the windshield. Love bugs tearing us up. I kicked my 2 drops off this morning. Sitting over here at one little annex porch. They're all gone to lunch, so in a little bit I go over there at 1. Looks like these showers are gonna blow over. A little under the weather this morning. Damn, there goes that gut again. I ate everything the mama ate, except for drinking some orange juice, some new orange juice. Well, it's been sitting in the icebox 2 or 3 weeks, unopened. Date's still good. All I can figure, the orange juice must not have settled. I was up half the night going off of both ends. That's unfun. No. Shot to dispatch a couple messages before he even went to work. And still did what I had to do and wound up laying back down. Right there. Trying to get the delayed wipe going with the rain, with the sprinkles. But anyway, I left out a little later, but I got this stuff done. Still a little queasy, but I'll be alright. So, I shot that video last night, giving you a little tour of some of the stuff's got done. Yeah, I did that one a lot for Michael so he could see what was going on. Me and them boys are working off his budget right now. So, and he don't come home as much as I do. And yes, I say home because we let him stay in one of our bedrooms whenever he does come home. He'll stay out 3 or 4 weeks at a time, and then he comes home for 3 or 4 days. 2, 3, 4 days, whatever works out. Which that's by his choice. Now me, I've stayed out there forever. And I like my regional. Doing that post last night, somebody asked me to talk a little bit about OTR and regional and local and all that, and the pros and cons. Well, the pros and cons are going to depend upon you and what you want out of your driving career. For Michael, he's new at trucking. He's older in the years, a couple years older than me, 3 or 4, whatever. But he's wanting to do the OTR thing so that he can see a lot more of the country and experience OTR driving. So, you know, to him, knocking out the miles, doing that deal and all that stuff you hear us talking about, well, he's getting into doing that. So regional or local would not work for him at this time, because that just ain't what he wants. As for me, I've been out there and done that deal and ran all of the states and Canada, and you know, I've been around a little bit, and I've stayed out there for 2 or 3 months at a time. Actually, probably stayed longer than that if I talked to my wife. It just depends on what I was doing. So with this company, I told them I'd had enough LTR, and they just made this position show up. And for me, I leave out basically Monday morning, 99.99% of the time. Every blue moon, I'll leave out Sunday night. But that's my call, and I do it for me because I have a plan. And I'm trying to make something work. I normally get home sometime Friday. However, sometimes it's Saturday. It's trucking. It's not a perfect world. This week, or this weekend, I got home about 5 o'clock Friday afternoon. I'm good with that. Normally, I would have been rolling by 8 o'clock this morning, but however, me being a little under the wind, under the weather, I didn't leave out until around 9 o'clock. So, it is what it is. So, now as for local, I've checked into some of those, and most of those are your larger companies, and they usually have a radius. You have to live within so many miles of one of their terminals, and that's usually around 50 miles, give or take 50 miles. And where I live, there's not any of the big companies that I live within 50 miles of that have a terminal, to my knowledge. And also, usually with local like that, you're doing a whole bunch of drops and pickups and in and out of the truck and in and out of the trailer and all that, and that don't entice me at all. Now, there are some companies, I haven't looked, haven't found it, that have local dedicated, or say I pick up in Houston and run to San Antonio and back one day, and Dallas and back one day, and here and there, and dropping hook on each end and all that. That might be interesting. However, once again, is my truck going to get to come to the house? To me, that's a biggie. I'm not going to put on 50 miles each way, 100 miles round trip every day to go run a local route. It ain't worth it to me. Now I know you hear on all the trucker stuff on here, you hear all these local guys telling you how they're making so much money. Normally the rule of thumb is the more often you get home, the less money you make. Now, if you find one of them exceptional companies, or you're in a union, or anything like that, yes, there's exceptions to every rule. But for the most part, the more often you're home, the less the pay. So that would be something you would definitely have to consider. I would have to consider. So now you're talking about, for me, now you're talking about having to drive 50 miles to the terminal, 100-mile round trip every day, and making a little bit less money. I don't know. And I'm not ready to go there yet. So if you're thinking about it, the person that asked me to talk about this, you need to figure out exactly what you want. What do you want out of your job and out of your career, and who's going to be able to fulfill it? There's some that live in the city, and they, the Budweisers and all them different kind of big companies like that, I'm sure they make a killing. The Walmarts and all that, I'm sure they do pretty good. I myself am not into big companies, and I'm a hard bird to satisfy. So for now, I'm quite content where I'm at. Yeah, it gets a little old, but I'm quite content where I'm at. I'm making decent money. I'm home pretty much every weekend. Sometimes it's 2 days, sometimes it's barely 34 hours, sometimes it's 48 hours, sometimes it's 70 hours. It just depends upon how my run's going. When I come down to Houston, there's several places that I'll deliver at. Sometimes I don't even have a delivery in Houston. They'll have me go somewhere else and deadhead 100 miles to get home. You know, it's a matter of what we need to do to make the company, our dedicated freight company, happy, and to get me home, and then you got to balance that out with this company where their truck making money and not losing a bunch of money. So it's all a matter of what you want. What do you want out of it? So what do you want? Are you satisfied with the possibility of making less money and getting home every day? Is that what you really want? Now I can't tell you, when I lived in Georgia, I did a little bit of research for some of the locals where I lived, which basically was hauling gravel and hauling logs and all this stuff. It wasn't regular freight. And most of them want you to work anywhere from 12 to 14 hours a day, and if you're using their equipment, you're doing good to make $100 a day. I didn't like it. I tried hauling the gravel and stuff, and I just wasn't making the money I'm used to making. So I went back over the road. What else can I tell you about it? I just thought of something when I was telling you that part. Oh, there goes my gut again. Well, dadgummit, I lost it. I had another little tidbit to throw in there and I lost it. Well, like I said, I'm under the weather. I've got this far. I just ate a couple bananas, see how my stomach will handle it, and it's a little queasy right now. Fixing to go lay down and give me a half hour in the bunk there. Y'all remember, God loves you and so do I. Have a blessed day now. I hope this helped you.